Hello and welcome everyone to the first and only preseason race for Zenith Online Racing on the Sunday for the EU tier. Looking forward to this one. It's going to be China for the third time this week for the preseason race. We're going to the Shanghai International Circuit for all 15 corners. It's going to be me, QVR Packer, four main comms here tonight, and alongside me for the first time ever, it's going to be Alt Maverick. How's it going, Maverick?
I'm doing good. I'm finally excited to get this week of preseason over because I'm tired of China. I'm tired of looking at it and watching races and doing races around here. So I'm happy that it's going to be over after today.
Yeah, China is not one of the greatest tracks in my opinion, but right now as we wait for, we have 12 drivers in the lobby right now, waiting just for a few more. I think we have a few reserves just starting to get into the lobby right now, but looking forward to the new season. That will be starting in just about a week from now. Looking over towards the roster right now in the Alfa Romeo for the full time seats, we have Gin and Juice and JD Barca. In the Alpha Tauri, we have Beck and RC. Harry Noirg and Excel Lando will be sharing the Ferrari seats. Rocco and Purple Squirrel will be sharing the Haas car. Jinnit and Ash's Falcor. That'll be a handful. In the McLaren, the Mercedes drivers are going to be Excel Miami and Excel Cali, the two Excel drivers sharing that one. JXW and Siku are in the Racing Point. Zamaglis and Dylan in the Red Bull. Bagger Bones and Barton, the two stewards, are in the Renault, and Ruben and Rick and the Williams. So it should be a really interesting season. But we don't have our most of our top five from last season. I think Larkin has signed up as a reserve. You can see in the lobby right there. But J. Cole and Zaldemar aren't here. So it'll be interesting to see what type of performances we can get from the rest of the field.
Yeah, you mentioned that we're not going to have the top guys from last season, and I think with that it might shake up the order and I think really promote some of these guys who've been finishing in the lower points. They'll find themselves leading these races and up at the front, finally getting some good points. So I think, it's almost like if Hamilton didn't decide to race this season, what would happen with all that? So I haven't really focused on you that much, so maybe the racing will be a bit closer. I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, most definitely. The only race I partook in two races last season. The Hungary race, I decided to get on the grid, and then for USA, I commentated with one such car mentalist. That was a great race, and we had an amazing battle between a lot of drivers throughout the field. So yeah, once again, just waiting for a few drivers to get into the lobby, and we can get this preseason race underway. It should be an interesting one. It's a great race in tier ones and two, commentating and racing in both of those tiers. So looking very much forward to this race coming up.
Yeah, it's tier one went all right. Could have been a bit better for me, but it went pretty well for you, Packer. Tier two was interesting as always, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of missing my tier two guys right now after watching that race. I was kind of sad not to race in battle with them, but you know, I guess it sucks being the champion, but whatever.
Yeah, you do have that responsibility of being the champion. Moving up to Tier 1 would be a little bit tougher competition for you, but looking forward, obviously, to the season with Lando, your new teammate. Morby in the comment section saying, let's do this. Yes, I agree very much. Let's get into this one. I'm super excited I think this is my third commentary in like 4 days or something, which is crazy to me, but yeah. Yeah, once again, super excited to get in this one. Just waiting to get going and we can get into the action.
Yeah, hopefully we can get going soon. But with that, I'm actually gonna have to run upstairs for a bit, so I'll leave you to. Hopefully, I'll be back just as qualifying starts. I'll be back in just a moment.
Okay. Uh, okay. Interesting topics that I can focus on. So, interesting things for the EU roster. Obviously, we just went through the roster just a few minutes ago. We do have those drivers as we begin to ready up and get into the Chinese Grand Prix for preseason. We do have 12 reserves, so obviously this is a preseason race. Not many drivers will decide not to partake because it isn't. You aren't competing for championship points. So, yeah, we do have 12 reserves right now, them being Storm, David Wilsey, TPJG, Father Chungus, which is a great name, Quinn, Fuselim, Adri, Derouge, Elysium, T. Woody Z, and Larkin, your last season's champion. So, only partaking in a reserve role. I'm not exactly sure why, but yeah, he is not full-time, as well as there is a Super Bowl going on today, so it should be quite the interesting one. Once again, as I've mentioned already, super excited to get into this one. Last time I commentated, or the last 2 times that I partook in the EU tier, it was great races and some amazing action. That sucks. More beat. Demolish PS4. Never a great time, but yeah. Hopefully you'll enjoy the action from the commentator's booth with Alt Maverick and myself. But right now, getting into qualifying, I think we should have clear weather. At least it was for Tier 2 and Tier 1. I think that should be set to the clear setting. So yes, it will be. Getting up the track map, the lap data, the telemetry, and the tires for you on the screen right now. It'll be interesting to see what these drivers do. You can qualify in the mediums. The medium to hard strategy is the better strategy out of the medium to hard and the soft to hard. It does look like Beck and Excel Miami have selected the harder of the 2 compounds right now. I don't think many people will be qualifying on the hard tires because you don't get a hard set in qualifying. So looking forward to this one. It looks like it's going to be the Racing Point of JXW out onto the track first, and then it's going to be DJ Panda following him in behind. JXW going a little bit wide there off the track. Ooh, very far off the track. He's off into the runoff area. So yeah, it's going to be Harry Nowarg. He's going to be the next one on the track. So it'll be an interesting qualifying session. Obviously, Harry Nowarg, as you can see in his red Ferrari, on the red wall tires right now. This is going to be Harry Nowarg's full-time seat in the Scuderia for the rest of the season. We do have 18 races. I can pull up the calendar just now as we wait for the outlap to conclude. It's going to be the United States Grand Prix in just a week's time, as I mentioned, for round number 1. Tier 1 will be kicking off the round 1 week tomorrow on Monday night, I believe 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And then it's going to be Hungary the week following, as well as Azerbaijan, Austria, and Brazil, and Mexico are going to be those 6 weeks in a row. And then we do have Russia after a week's break with following Bahrain, Netherlands, Australia, Japan, and Spain, and then another week off before we get into the final leg of the season. We have Belgium, Singapore, Great Britain, Canada, France, and Italy. All amazing, stunning tracks, but Harry Nowarg right now is going through turn 14 and is getting towards the end of this lap and looking to go into the hot lap. You can take a lot of apex curb there at the final corner, which is turn number 16. So now crossing the line to start his first flying lap. Let's see what he can do in the Ferrari. We are going to go on board with him in his car. So right now through turn 1, very difficult corner. You want to try and carry as much speed as possible, staying in third gear though, and then going to be dropping down the hill towards turn 2 and out of the corner through turn 3 and through turn 4, getting a big slide out of the corner. That's not going to be great for his final lap time. I think he might have just backed off. Yeah, he turned off the ERS, so he's not going to be finishing that lap. He might just do it, but I don't think he's going to be doing that one. JXW invalidated in behind Excel Cali, who sets a purple first sector, goes a little bit deep there into turn 6, though. I believe, I'm not exactly sure what that first sector time was, but now into the technical section of the track through turn 7 and through turn 8. Turn 7, the first left-hander of that middle sector can be flat, and then through turn 8, a little bit of a break down a few gears into turn 9, heavy braking zone, and then through turn 9 and 10, difficult traction zone out of that final left-hander. Now, purple middle sector, 50.9, looks like a pretty decent lap here for Cali. Has a little bit of a slide, though, clipping that apex curb at turn 11. Now through turn 12 and through turn 13, very difficult. You don't want to try, or you want to try and keep your tire temperatures cool on the outlap so you can have the optimal grip going towards the end of this lap, especially through turn 13, because it's a very difficult corner. Flat out try to carry as much momentum as possible down this, I'm not exactly sure, but I think it's a kilometer long straight, breaking into turn 14, just a little bit wide of the apex there is the Mercedes driver, but now cutting it straight to the right side through 15, and now braking for 16 just at the 15-meter board, turning it just a little bit late. Harry Noir sets a 35.1, but that was not a competitive lap time. Excel Cali across the line, it's a 30.7. That's a good lap from the Mercedes driver. So now, looking towards the rest of the drivers, I think Beck is going to be the next one. He's on the mediums. He sets a 32 flat. He's going to be going ahead of Harry Noir, but obviously we saw on board that he had a little bit of a snap coming out of turn 3, so hopefully he will be able to improve on that lap time. DJ Panda set to 34.6, but he was invalid, so he will be going for another one. RC7 in behind as well is also invalid, and his D rating across the line does a 30.731. That would have been provisional pole position for the AlphaTauri driver, but now looking towards Bag of Bones, who has invalidated as well. He's slowing down out on track. I'm not exactly sure why, but yeah, he has invalidated, turned down the ERS. So let's see what the rest of the drivers can do. I think actually the next driver on a lap is going to be Excel Larkin. He's on the medium tires, so let's see what he can do going on to this back straight.
Yeah, well, I'm back, so pretty quick lap so far. Callie obviously ahead, and Excel Larkin is coming through the hairpin now. I think purple sector 2, so this lap might be quicker than Callie's. And absolutely beautiful through the final corner, and it was quicker, about 2/10, so Larkin up to provisional pole position.
Yeah, a great lap there from the Racing Point driver. Obviously, as I mentioned already a few times just before, he is the EU tier champion, the reigning champion right now. Excel Cali and JXW both pulling into the pit lane after their first runs. I think that's back the next one on a lap. Yeah, he's going to be pulling in the pit lane. A lot of drivers after finishing their first laps will be coming into the pit lane just now, but I think DJ Panda, he's going to be the next one to cross the line. 51.7 through the middle sector split. I think that's a little bit far off what Cali was doing, but yeah, 31.8 for the Alfa Romeo, so a little bit of a gap, about 1.1 seconds to the next closest driver in front of him, but he did apparently set a purple third sector, so that would be good pace there from the Alfa Romeo driver, but he just has to find that little bit of time in the first two sectors because he obviously has the straight line speed enough to keep it in the final sector. I think Harry Noir has had a little bit of an off of out of turn 6, so that's not going to be great for him in this session because I think he was on a lap. He still has the ERS on. Bag of Bones just crossing the line. He improves to a 36.6. And not the greatest lap from the Renault, but looking to improve. It looks like he will be going for another one. I think that's Excel Larkin coming down the back straight as well, opening up the DRS. He's on an in-lap on those medium tires. He'll definitely, or most definitely should be able to improve on the soft tires. I think the soft tire delta to the mediums is just about a second here in China. So let's see what he can do if he decides to go onto the soft tires or just pull it into the pit lane and start on those mediums.
Yeah, I just noticed DJ Panda was off through the second sector. I think he did get some wing damage, but luckily all four wheels are still on the car, so he will be able to continue in this qualifying session. And that was Bag of Bones going through there as well, so hopefully he didn't get slowed down because of it. He is on the overtake, so, and it is a purple sector too, so obviously he is pushing for his first lap. Sorry, this is actually his third lap.
Ooh, yeah, big snap out of the... We're going through turn 13 there. As you mentioned, third lap in a row. Those tires could be pretty cooked. Those tire wear is a prominent factor here at the Shanghai International Circuit. So those tires starting to struggle ever so slightly. So let's see what he can do coming through the rest of this final sector. Braking into turn number 14. Looks pretty clean, but gets on that exit curve. You don't really want to be doing that through turn 15. That right king, not much of a factor, but down through the final corner. Actually, he's going to be pulling into the pit lane, so will not be attempting turn 16. But yeah, still has the ERS on and going into the pit lane. A little bit of a slide, but yeah, obviously the tires are not going to be in the greatest of conditions. DJ Panda has spun out of turn 15, so really struggling on his in-lap. Those tires are going to be absolutely destroyed if he decides to start on them. But now Larkin actually going for another lap on the medium tires. I thought he might have pulled into the pit lane, but I guess not. The Racing Point driver coming through out of 14 through 15. Let's see what he could do if he decides to attempt the final corner through 16. He seems like he's going to be doing that. Beautiful final corner there from the Racing Point driver, opening up the DRS across the line. He improves by a 10th and 200ths, so he goes on to a 30.4. He extends his advantage right now in front of the field, but he has done 3 laps on those mediums, so I wonder if he's actually going to be starting on those, or he will opt for the soft tires later in the session. There's about 9.5 minutes left as Rocco's gone very, very deep into turn 14, so not the greatest line from him. So just looking on board, I think with Larkin, he's going to be the next driver. He's the only driver on a lap at the minute, but he has turned on the ERS. So let's go on board with Rocco, because I believe he's just crossed the line to start his first flying lap.
Yeah, we'll see what Rocco can do. He's on the soft, so a bit of a lockup into turn 2. But I think it's still going to be a pretty good first sector. I'm hoping this can be up towards the top 5, at least ahead of... at least in the mix, and yeah, it's a purple sector 1, so it needs to be pretty quick, and a bit of a corner cup. It doesn't get invalidated.
Yeah, a little bit iffy there on track limits here. Taking a little bit of a lift there through turn number 7. You can't take it flat if you have the right setup, if you have the right racing line. But it's just a little, just halfway through the session. You do have enough time for another flying lap if he decides to finish this one and go for another one. So let's see what Rocco can do. Breaking through turn 11, a little bit of a lockup there on that front left. Now coming through turn 12, staying away from those track limits. Once again, trying not to invalidate, but as he does that, goes very, very wide through turn 13. Once again, lucky not to invalidate his lap time, going very wide off track there, but that's going to completely compromise his run through the final, through turn 13 and onto the back straight. Now braking into turn 14, just around 150 meters, just before that 100-meter board, and then coming into turn 14. Nice apex there from the Haas driver, but let's see what he can do through the final 2 corners. 215 looked pretty nice on traction. Now coming into the final corner, once again taking a little bit cautious, trying not to invalidate. He just wants to put that lap time down and get that delta. He will go in front of Bagabones on a 35 flat, so a little bit off the pace, but once again it was a bank lap for him. That was his first lap time set. Now looking towards Barton on the medium tires. I don't think it'll be close enough to Larkin, but he is going to go 7th, just in front of his Renault teammate by around 7/10. So he might be able to improve on that one. I think he's going again. I think that might have been a cooldown lap for the Renault driver, maybe making a mistake early on, and was able to save up that ERS. But now looking towards, I think that's actually Harry Noir, who's started an outlap. So let's go on board with Rocco once again as coming through turn 7 and going through turn 8 right now. It looks like he's going a little bit more aggressive for this one.
Yeah, that first lap, just the mess up through turn 13, it really hurts your momentum down that long straight, because if you run wide, I mean, you're going to lose over half a second. But everything seems to be perfect so far. Let's hope he learns his lesson this time about turn 13. Still just a bit wider than you would have wanted, but at least the time delta will drop. But with this being his second lap on these tires, it's not going to help in terms of the strategy for the race, and really deep in the final corner. Yeah, Rocco just really struggling to find any sort of consistency in his lap times.
Yeah, I think he's pushing just a little bit too hard to find that lap time. As you can see, double front lockup into that turn 13. He improves by 1.1 seconds, but obviously with that mistake, he's going to lose a bunch of time as RC7 jumps up the timing sheets. He goes on to a 33 flat and into P7. I think that was Barton who just improved on his medium tires by 4.8 seconds, so that's a great improvement there for the Renault. He'll be going on to the second row on those medium tires, but he did do 2 laps on them, so they're going to be a little bit worse for wear than other drivers, as well as I think that's Beck, P5 on those medium tires, so he's did a pretty decent lap. But now Harry Noir, who's backed off before his lap, he is getting out of the way of, I think that's DJ Panda, who's just starting a lap in behind him. So Harry Noir getting out of the way and didn't want to improve on that lap. He is right now P6 on a 32.1. If he improves by a 10th and just a little bit more, at around 200, he could find himself up a position onto the other spot on that third row. So let's see what he can do later on in the session. It's starting to look a little bit overcast here over the Shanghai International Circuit. So interesting conditions. Maybe the track temperature is starting to just drop a little bit. So hopefully these drivers can maybe do a lap, and maybe, I don't even know if they'll improve, because it seems the track conditions are getting a little bit worse than optimal.
Yeah, I was going to say something about the clouds, and everyone seems to be going out just a bit early for their final laps. Usually you can go about he made the pits about 2 minutes and still making it around to start the lap, so they might be having some rain close to the end of this quality, so they might be going out early so the laps don't get messed up with the rain. I don't think... Yeah, RC finishes. That was his second lap on the medium, so he goes up to P4 with a 31.7. I think that was Rocco pulling into the pits. Bag of Bones starts his lap. Barton pulls into the pits. And now DJ Panda coming through the hairpin.
Yeah, he does have Harry Noirgan behind him, though, because DJ Panda has turned down the ERS. So Harry Noirgan is going to be the next one to cross the line unless DJ Panda decides to... Ooh, actually, both of them are going to be coming in the pit lane. Ooh, that's contact between those two. Just a little bit of miscommunication between those two drivers. DJ Panda taking it nice and methodical into the pit lane, and Harry Noir just sending it full on into into the pit entry. So not the greatest for him. He's going to have to get that front wing replaced if he wants to go out for another lap, which I'm sure he will be. Beck starting his lap right now. He just finished his out lap, has a little bit of a slide out of that final corner. It's very easy to do that. We saw many drivers retiring, or we saw one driver in Tier 1 and another one in Tier 2, I do believe, retiring out of that final corner in qualifying. So difficult when you're on the limit. But right now, Excel Cali, he's on the lap. He's braking into turn number 14. Once again, a little bit wide of that apex, braking just a little bit too late into the hairpin. But now going through 15th and braking into 16. Not the greatest line you could ever have. Not representative, or not the same line that Larkin took, but he only goes 4 thousandths behind Larkin on the grid. Larkin deciding not to go out with just about 3 minutes left. If you want to leave the pits, you're going to have to leave just around now if you want to set that lap time. But right now, Cali, 4 thousandths in behind. It's super close between the front row.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just the smallest of margins between the front two. But Larkin has left the session, so he will definitely not be setting a lap at the end of this quali session. But Cali has just got to be thinking, where can I find those 4 thousandths of a second to just tie pole position right now? And thankfully Larkin has joined back. It might be too late.
Yeah, I think it'll be just a little bit too late for the Racing Point driver. He's on provisional pole position. So right now, he's in the best position as well as on the best strategy, in my opinion. Medium to hard will almost always work back coming to the final corner. He hasn't validated, but he didn't decide to back off. So coming through the final corner, it would have been a 30.6. He improves by 1.4 seconds, but it doesn't count. So I think that would have put him on a 30.7 or a 30.6. Which would have put him on into third place, just in front of the Renault of Barton. So now looking on towards Excel Cali, who is not going for another lap. I think that's smart. You don't want to put as little wear on those tires as possible. Rocco just behind him on an out lap. Cali should be coming into the pit lane, so Rocco should have multitudes of clean air. You can see that Cali moving over to the right side of the track. So now going on board with Jake's W. He's going to be the next one to cross the line. Just a few drivers in behind him. One of the Renaults and I think one of the Ferraris are on laps there. So RC pulls in the pit lane and retires. Jake's W going to the right side of the track, looking for the best optimal line. Larkin finally decides to leave the pit lane, but with only a minute and 20 seconds left, let's see if he can get to the line. But his Racing Point teammate Jake's W improves to a 31.7, goes down to the second row of the grid, but the Renault in behind, I think that was Bagabones. I'm not sure if he improved. I don't think he did. He didn't move up any positions. The Ferrari of Fuselim, I believe, just started a lap. Now the Alfa Romeo of DJ Panda crosses the line. I think he's starting a lap as well. So everyone on the lap right now, besides Harry Noirg in the Ferrari, and then Barton and Larkin in the top three. Larkin going out on the mediums once again, but Barton out on an out lap on the soft tires. He's going to have to, Larkin is going to be the last one to start a lap, I do believe, but now the Williams coming to the line. I think that's Storm. He was I think he was a late joiner in this one, but crossing the line, I don't think he set a time there. He might have been an out lap, not exactly sure, but now Excel Miami hasn't set a lap time. He's 15th, but where will he go? He goes on a provisional pole position by a 1/10 of a second. That's great for him. Larkin's going to be on those very, very much worn tires. Those mediums are not going to be the greatest tires to be setting the lap time on, but I think the track conditions might just barely help him with the lower track temp. That'll be a lower deck for those medium compounds. But right now, Excel Miami looks in a controlling seat right now.
Yeah, really good lap time for Miami, especially to get pole position and, like you said, on the fresher tires than Larkin. So his pull away from the line is going to be hopefully better than Larkin's, and that's going to be crucial going into this first corner.
And Larkin doesn't even make it to the line. Wait, is he doing a lap still? No, yeah, he's finished. Larkin's done. He's not going to be able to improve in this session. But right now, Barton up 3/10 in the first sector, just clicking through the order. He's a purple first sector. Vagabond's not going to be improving. He invalidated. He would have improved by a 10th. That wouldn't have been enough to put him onto the neck, or to improve a position. I think that was Fuselim who just crossed the line into P4. The Alfa Romeo of DJ Panda goes P6. He improves by 5.5 of a second. But now looking towards JXW. He's not on a lap. He's invalid. He's backed off of that lap. But now Storm is going to be the next driver. The Williams. He has no heads because he joined late in the session. So that's a little bit of a phenomenon for the Williams car. P6, number 6. On his car. Let's see if he can go into that P6 or maybe even improve on it across the line. He goes into P8, so just a little bit shy of that racing number. But now looking towards Excel Miami, I think he's the next one, but he's backed off. Understandable considering he might just have pole position wrapped up here. But now Barton, who found 2/10 in that middle sector. Let's see what he can do in the final sector. He might just need a little bit more than that. Just 3/10 in the final sector, and he'll go on to provisional pole position, but he backs off and won't improve on that lap time. So the Renault driver opting for tire wear or just deciding to start P5 in the grid. But I think that's it. But Purple Squirrel, actually, I think is going to be the next one across the line. He's going to be final driver. He goes on to 36.7. So just a little bit off the pace. Two Haas drivers looking like they're struggling here. I don't think anyone else is on a lap here, but Excel Miami is in the pit lane. So we will have to wait for him for this qualifying session to continue. But to conclude, my bad. But yeah, great qualifying session there. It looked like Larkin was in control, but Excel Miami will be the driver on pole position.
Yeah, the late lap by Miami to take pole position. I mean, incredible stuff, and Excel top 3 so far. So this race is going to shape up to be something great with different strategies at the front.
Yeah, most definitely. The one time that I did race in the EU tier, a lot of guys were in a party together. I'm sure the Excel boys are going to be in that party. It's going to be Excel Miami and Larkin taking the front row. On the medium tires, you have to mention that as well. Callie in P3, he's going to be on the soft, so on that compromise strategy. But Fuselim and Barton, P4, P5 on the mediums, then split by DJ Penn on the softs. And then JXW, RC, and Vagabonds are going to be starting the mediums. Splitting them is Storm in 8th place. But the rest of the drivers, back here in Award, Rocco, Purple Squirrel, and Jinnit are all going to have free choice of tires outside of the top 10.
Oh, wow. This is going to be fun.
Hopefully. It'll be interesting to see what Larkin can do on a dry track when there's not a Alfa Romeo in front of him taking me out. Sorry, Larkin, but I'm sure he'll watch this one back and, yeah, he'll like that comment, but, yeah. Anyways. Going into this race, yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of a 2-minute break. Is customary here in ZOR. Just give these guys a little bit of a break in between qualifying and the race to catch their breath after that super exciting qualifying session and get into this race, which is going to be hopefully a stunner for the preseason racing. We can get a lot of hype going into season number 5 for the EU tier. Obviously, there is going to be a race tomorrow for Tier 1. At United States Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas. Typical America, naming their track after themselves. Harry Noir has just pressed the X button, as well as Excel Cali. They're going to be starting that timer. I don't think there will be a penalty because it is preseason race, but customarily, if you start the timer before the 2 minutes, you will get a 10-second penalty to be added to your race time. But yeah, going towards next week, tomorrow, Tier 1 for the Circuit of the Americas, as well as Tier 2 on Thursday, and the EU tier once again on Sunday at 8 o'clock GMT. So going to the grid right now, it's going to be Excel Miami leading us away on the formation lap. Let me get up those tires. But yeah, so actually, Becca's on the hard tires somehow. I'm not exactly sure how that is possible in any way. Actually, I think Storm had a 5-place grid drop. That might be why.
I think it was actually DJ Panda and Harry. They were the two people that made contact into the pit lane.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I think that's how Beck is on mediums and P9.
Yeah, that's an interesting case. So Beck starting 2 places higher than he normally would be on the hard tires. So that's 2 places less that he'll have to gain off the start. He's going to have to really try and get some temperature in those tires if he wants to have a good start for the beginning of this one. Already going side by side with Bag of Bones. Hopefully they won't make contact because both of them will be losing tire temperature and will not have the greatest start to their races. But yeah, So outside the top 10, obviously we do have back in P9. That's a little bit of phenomenon that shouldn't normally happen. But yeah, DJ Panda on the soft tires. I think he's took those from qualifying. But Rocco, Purplo, Squirrel, Jinnit, and Harry Warg are all going to be on the mediums. And I think Storm, who qualified outside of the top 10 as well, he's in P15 right now, lagging a little bit behind the field. Is going to be on the soft tires, trying to conserve as much tire wear as possible. Trying to back off, trying to keep the most conservative line possible. But it's going to be Excel Miami, Larkin, and Cali as they're going 3 wide on the back straight, leading us away for this one.
I mean...
and there's...
And Bard just says... I was going to say that, now we definitely know they're in a party together to really sort of...
that's a Mercedes and those two people have just been taking out the formation lap. That's not exactly what you love to see. That's Callie and Barton, P3 and P5. So they're going to be starting on the left side of the grid, the second row and the third row for those two respectively. So yeah, that was quite the sight to see. But now Fuselum is going to be leading us away onto the grid.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Only time Fuselum will ever lead anything? Just saying.
Oh, God. And the shade continues.
Yes, always.
Oh, yeah, the Excel formation, and gotta love it.
Yeah, most definitely. You can't hate on it. It was quite the sight to see until the two Renaults decided to break it up. But yeah, now, Excel Miami, he's on provisional. Well, he is on pole position once the 5 red lights come on, and we do have 3, 4, 5 lights. Lights out and away we go. It might have been a good start for Larkin, and I think he's had the jump on the Mercedes in front of him. He's starting in P1, but now the Mercedes driver is going to be down into P2 if Larkin can convert it into turn 1. And now just going over the top of the hill into turn 2. A little bit of a slide for the Racing Point driver. Maybe a little bit of contact between the two Mercedes-powered cars. But now Miami will defend his position into turn 3 and out of that traction zone. He will be in the lead. Larkin P2, but JXW has an amazing start. He's up into P3. He's on the podium position as well. Barton looking to make a move on the Ferrari in front of him. Fuselum is in 4th place right now with Barton and the two Renaults in behind him in 5th and 6th. Fuselum staying in the same spot on his grid. That's great for him. All the medium tire runners are up to P7 or 1 through 7 with a split between Beck and DJ Panda on the hards and the mediums. And then we have another few medium runners in Harry Noir, RC, and Jinnit, as well as Purple Squirrel down in 14th. Excel Cali has not had the greatest start. I think he was in the grass off the start of the race, maybe just losing a little bit of tire temperature, but now looking for the move on Jinnit to win it, but he's not going to be able to go for that one into turn number 11. That would have been audacious at best, but decides against it. But now it's going to be Excel Miami leading us away out of turn 13.
Yeah, it was a good start from the front runners, and at the back, I did see DJ Pandy, who was squeezed 3 wide with, I think, Beck and Rocco. That's losing out a few positions there. But still holding strong for the Alfa Romeo and on the soft tires, so hopefully you can get past Beck, who's on the hards. 2 compound difference will make a difference in the beginning of this race.
Yeah, most definitely. You can already see him trying to make the move on the Alpha Tower in front of him. But right now, Excel Cali, he's going to be the first one into the pit lane. You can see right there on your screen that the left end plate is gone. DRS is not enabled. Do not believe that for 1 second of your lives because the race director, well, game is broken anyways. Here we go. But yeah, the game is, yes, broken. So right now, it's going to be Excel Miami leading us out of turn 3. He's had an amazing start. He's still in P1 with Excel Larkin, the champion from last season, bearing down on him. We're only on lap 2 right now, but it's going to be immense pressure for the Mercedes driver to endure for the rest of these 28 laps. So let's see what he can do. Let's see how he can cope with the pressure. But right now, JXW playing a little bit of a rear gunner for the Racing Point team. He's still in P3, starting to drop off the top 2, but he's keeping the rest of the drivers in behind, which is Fuselum and Barton.
Yeah, there could be a bit of strategy play from this Racing Point to kind of just back off and let the 2 XL drivers go at it. JXW, he's out of DRS right now. Which isn't enabled on this lap, but he's out of that DRS, so he's not. Oh man, I really think it's just going to be a 2-horse race at this point. I mean, if they're pulling this kind of gap early and on the same tire compounds, I really think that this is only going to be a 2-horse race.
Ooh.
So we got a spinner at the back, DJ Panda.
Yeah, DJ Panda's around out of turn 3 in a very difficult corner, especially to get that traction down. We saw it in qualifying with Rocco, I do believe, making a mistake there in qualifying, but now looking towards the back of the top 10. RC7 trying to make a move up the inside of Harry Noir. I don't think he's going to be able to get that one done. Harry Noir getting the better traction on the outside line will close off the Alpha Tower. RC's not going to have a chance to make that one into the final corner, but looking a little bit forward. Beck is past Rocco. He's up into P7, but now the Haas trying to fight it back. He's not using his overtake button, but looking to the outside of the hard tire runner in the Alpha Tower of Beck. He's in P7 right now. He's going to be defending his position. I think he's gotten that move done. Rocco trying to look for a switch back onto the inside line for turn 2, but not going to be able to get that done. Beck with a little bit of a lockup under the pressure of the Haas driver behind him, but he's going to be able to get away now through turn 3. But now the McLaren of Jinnit. He started from towards the back of the grid, but now he's going to be up into P8 if he makes this move on the outside of turn 6. Rocco turning in very early, trying to get the defensive line, will push out Jinnit. He's going to defend his position, but now Jinnit gets the better exit, but now it's going to be 3 wide. Harry Noir on the outside, Jinnit on the inside. Rocco will have to drop out of that one. He loses 2 places in one corner. Jinnit gets that position as well as Harry Noir. He's up into P9.
Yeah, what a great run for Jinnit out of that first snail-like corners. I thought he was going to have it around the outside of Rocco, but Harry Noir had a good run, but Jinnit still gets the position. So really good job for Jinnit these first few laps to really make up these positions that he lost in qualifying, DNFing pretty early and not setting a time.
Yeah, exactly. If you do DNF in the qualifying session, it's going to be a struggle to get towards the back or get back towards the front of the field, especially when you have the pace of Miami and Larkin. Larkin making a little bit of a mistake there on the traction. Obviously, he did do not obviously, but he did do 3 qualifying laps on those medium tires, so those rear tires are going to be absolutely screaming. Maybe if he can pull off the strategy, looking for an undercut, but JXW is starting to come back at the leaders right now. The gap is just starting to fluctuate in between 1.3 and 1.1 seconds, so just out of DRS range between the racing points. But looking towards Storm and Purple Squirrel, the Williams driver is getting very, very close going into turn 1. I don't think we've had actually, no, Jinnit getting very close to the back of Beck as well. Beck got a little bit of a gap between himself and Jinnit after the overtakes at turn 6. But now Jinnit on the medium tires, on those softer compounds, is starting to close him down. Beck getting a little bit of way, maybe using some overtake. Actually, never mind. He's on 80%, so he's looking in a very, very strong position right now. But he's trying to close up to the back of the top 6 because Bag of Bones right now is 2.8 seconds back. Beck is gonna have to try and close down that gap if he wants to get towards the front runners. I'm not exactly sure what strategy he's gonna be going for. Maybe medium hard or hard medium, or actually no. RC is round. His Alpha Tower teammate is around off the track. I think that's Rocco's just got off the track as well. So 2 mistakes at the same corner. They're looking a little bit slippery out there on track right now. Rocco made a huge mistake. He's off into the gravel. RC just had a little bit of a spin, so his tires are gonna be absolutely cooked. He's gonna be either coming into the pit lane right now or just trying to get those tire temperatures under control. But yeah, once again, Beck, he's going to have to try and close up to the back of him. He's already caught half a second. A Storm, Purple Squirrel going side by side through turn 12. That's a decent defense there from the Haas driver. But yeah, looking forward into this race. I wonder what Beck can do on the strategy.
Yeah, I'm really interested in Beck right now. Is actually Larkin's in the pits.
Yeah, that's an interesting call for the Racing Point driver. I'm not exactly sure why he's in the pit lane right now. We got classic Excel strategies. He's actually going to be going onto the medium, so looking for a 2-stop here. So he's going to be going a lot further into this race. He obviously took the balanced tire strategy going into this one, so he's going to be going on the mediums and then going towards the softs at the end of the race. But now looking towards just a little bit further than where Larkin is coming out. It's 2.2 seconds in front of him, but now Miami's going to have to think about that undercut if he is also going for that 2-stop. Jinnit setting Purple first sector. He's up by 4/10 on his personal best on the Delta in the top right of your screen. You can see that for yourself, but Jinnit is stuck behind Beck, even though Beck is starting to close down Bag of Buns in front of him. He's already caught 7/10 since Jinnit and Harry Noir have gotten past Rocco, I think
it was that battle with Rocco. I mean, they are really storming ahead. They're just hanging off this front pack. Sort of front 4 pack from Miami down to Barton, and then Bag of Bones in 5th. So there's about 2 trains starting to form here. They're all within DRS of each other. But Miami's still out ahead of JXW and out of DRS range. So that is crucial for Miami, and the gap just keeps increasing. It jumped over 2 seconds there into the hairpin.
Yeah, but now looking towards the battle for P9, RC, who had that spin just a little bit earlier on, so he's going to be lower than he would have wanted to be at this point in the race. But Larkin up the inside, using the overtake, using the DRS advantage into turn 14, hitting that apex very, very nicely in the racing point. We know what he can do as RC spins off into the, or almost into the wall. Another spin for the AlphaTauri. He's really struggling right now, but with the pressure of the Season 4 champion, I'm sure that can be excused for the AlphaTauri driver. But now Larkin up into P9. He has 10.9 seconds to close down on Harry Nowak in front of him. Actually, already 2.8 or 10.8. So he's really closing that gap down. But Excel Miami, who decided not to pull into the pit lane, is going to have to think about that undercut from Larkin.
Yeah, Larkin right now, I just looked at the leader gaps. Larkin's 21.7 seconds behind. So if we're thinking about the pit stop, it's going to be around that time. If Miami has a perfect pit entry and all that goodness that you want in a pit stop, they'll come out really close together, but the gap is starting to close down. I think those fresh mediums from Larkin are really helping right now. But it's just how fast can he close up to Harry, and if he can, maybe not get to Harry, get stuck behind him as Miami gets closer to his pit window, because that will hurt him. But with Larkin in that clean air, he's got all the room in the world to make this undercut work.
Yeah, we have a tight battle here for P2 on the track right now. JXW starting to fall at the back of the race leader. Decides not to pit for another lap. I think he's going to be going for that one-stop medium to the hard compound tires just a few laps into the race. I think he'll be pitting in just the next 3 to 5 laps, I'd say. DJ Panda's going to be the first one to pick up a 3-second time penalty in the race right now. Fuselim getting very, very close. He's really pressuring the back of this racing point right now, and JXW's really, really struggling. He's kind of staying with the pace of Miami, but he's made a few mistakes and started to drop off the back of the current race leader. Larkin, 8.8 seconds. We're going to have to keep an eye on that gap as it closes down to 8.7 to the Ferrari driver in front of him, but looking a little bit further back. Barton, JXW, Fuselim, and Barton are all really close battles. Jinnit making the second, or attempting to make the second move in 2 laps. He got past Beck. I'm not exactly sure. I think it was into turn 6 just a lap ago, but now trying around the outside of turn 7. Let's see what the McLaren can do on the Renault in front of him. He's making an outstanding move on the Renault. They're still side by side though through turn 8. Now breaking into turn 9. Let's see what Jinnit can do on the outside line. I think it's going to be the better one. He can try and get the traction. You don't want to be on the exit curve though. It will completely throw off the rear end of your car, but he's going to stick it. He has absolutely no ERS, but he's going to be making the move into P5. He's going to have that clean air through turn 13. That can be a huge advantage for the exit onto the back straight. But now Jinnit up into P5, making the moves look absolutely outstanding and almost easy from his perspective.
Yeah, that was an absolute beautiful move from Jinnit there through the second sector. But Fuzz and JXW going at it into the hairpin. Fuzz around the outside. They make a bit of contact, and I think, yeah, JXW had a bit of a spin there. It keeps the car going.
Yeah, I think we've had another spin in towards the back of the field. I think that was Rocco in the Haas. So he's a few drivers towards the back of the field. Rocco, as well as RC, not having the greatest of days out there so far right now. A ghost yellow flag out there just for the time being. Sorry. But yeah, I think that's Callie, who's actually getting past Purple Squirrel. So Callie with that lap 1 wing damage, he's going to be trying to make his way up the field on those medium tires. They're only 4 laps old, so he has a 2-lap tire advantage. But the other drivers have all not made a pit stop yet, so it'll be he'll have to make up another pit stop advantage if he wants to get to the end of the race with 4 wheels, that is. But now JXW had a little bit of a slide there. Behind Fuselim. Fuselim starting to break away ever so slightly. It's 4.3 seconds to the race leader in Excel Miami. So that battle with JXW really cost him a lot of time. Or it's just Excel Miami trying to break away, trying to get as much time as possible and negate the undercut, as much undercut time that he can to Larkin. It's already 7 seconds to Harry Nowak, so he's really cutting into this time. But he's going to have to make another pit stop, so that's going to hinder his race towards the end, towards the back end of this one, because we only have 20 laps left to go. We've already finished or we're about to finish the 8th lap as Excel Miami breaking into the hairpin right now, but looking towards JXW. He's using DRS. He's using his overtake. I don't think he's going to be close enough into turn 14, but he does get very, very close as Barton trying to send it. He's very, very late on the brakes, trying to make as much time up as possible. He does have the DRS, so that overspeed maybe just causing him to go a little bit deep in the corner. JXW using a beautiful line through the final corner, not getting the greatest of exit though. I think Fuselim is going to be staying in P2 here as Jinnit picks up a penalty in P5.
Yeah, nothing new from Zenith to get a penalty, but it is gonna it is gonna hurt him. I mean, you were jabbing at Fuzz earlier, so I can jab at Jin.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yep.
Callie Storm side by side down into the hairpin, but Callie, easy move.
Yeah.
Into the hairpin.
Yeah, it was an easy move, but now look at the gap he has to his Excel teammate in Larkin. 24.8 seconds. That's going to be an absolute mammoth task if he wants to try and get to where Larkin would be in this race, but Larkin is making another pit stop, so it's only about 4 seconds. Actually, I think Callie is going to be making another pit stop as well, because he did pedal up onto the mediums, but Storm and RC are going to be pulling into the pit lane. Storm did an amazing stint on those soft tires to get him to lap number 9, so a great stint there for the Williams driver. Let's see, I think he's going to be going onto the hard tires towards the end of this race. Just trying to negate as much tire wear, trying to keep him from tire saving towards the end of this race. That'll be a pretty decent decision for the Williams driver. But now going on board with Beck on the hard tires. He started on this set, so let's see what he can do into the end of this race, going a little bit wide through turn 13, but he's in the dirty air Vagabonds, but Vagabonds using his overtake just before the DRS line to try and pull enough of a gap. But Barton past JXW up the inside of the racing point is the Renault. JXW once again struggling just a little bit on traction, but so is Barton. Barton goes a little bit wide. JXW is going to be up into P3 once again, so Barton with that mistake going a little bit deep into turn 13 is really going to cost him Beck. Not close enough as Vagabonds pulls into the pit lane, so the first of the two Renaults is going to be into the pit lane, so let's see what Barton will do. Barton, in that battle with JXW, I think he might just be holding off one lap, trying to put as much pressure as possible on the racing point in front of him, but his Renault teammate will be pulling into the pit lane, I'm guessing, to fit. Actually, no, he's going to be going out of the medium, so I wonder if he's also going to be two-stopping here.
Yeah, it must be the two-stop. I can't imagine the medium is making it another 18 laps. I mean, I didn't make it this far in the race to really work on my strategy, but I can't see the mediums lasting 18 laps. They must be pitting for a pair of softs towards the end of this race, I can imagine.
Yeah, we do have Camden Lucas pointing out your roast of Zenith. So yes, that's we do have confirmation of that. We can put that in the general chat and Discord. So someone at Zenith, once he's eventually crashed out of this race. Sorry, that slipped. But anyways, RC down to P15 and picking up a time penalty. He's going to be the first of 3 drivers with DJ Panda, Zenith, and himself picking up that time penalties. But now looking just towards the front of the field. Once again, Excel Miami has decided yet to come into the pit lane. If he wants to pit now, he could pit onto the hard tires and make it to the end of the race, as some drivers have already doing before. JXW and Barton. Once again, Barton tried the outside line this time instead of the inside, trying to get the better exit. I think he might have just done it, but once again, JXW defending that position very well. Almost a little bit of contact. Barton has to lock up to try and avoid him and have a little bit of a snap out of the final corner, but JXW will be defending that position once again. But look how much time he's dropping to the Ferrari in front of him. Fuselum is really starting to pull away, or not so much pull away, but JXW is starting to fall to him, but Barton is really putting on the pressure, but now they're going to have to start thinking about Zenith. He's only 1.7 back, actually 1.6 now. He's starting to close. I think he has the pace on the 2 guys in front of him.
Yeah, the JXW Barton fight right now, it's like you said, it's really hurting them in terms of closing up that gap to Fuzz. And if this continues, Jin will catch them. And I mean, that's another 3 seconds, and it was just that one straight. The Jin must be really pushing to try to get as far ahead as he can before he pits onto a different set of tires, which I can imagine is going to be in these next few laps, but I'm not seeing anybody's blue pit light on their MFD. As of now, no scheduled pit stops this lap for the front runners.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what these guys are going to be trying to do. I think the pit window for the medium to hard is just around lap 12, trying to get the most out of the mediums that you can before pitting onto the hards, because the hards can make it from around lap 5 if you're pretty decent on tire wear. So they should be able to take them from the end, no problem, but trying to get the absolute most out of those medium tires, but before putting onto the hard tires, those hard tires super consistent if you can get the pace out of him. But now Excel Miami is going to be pulling into the pit lane, so let's see what Larkin can do on that undercut. He did pit, I'm not exactly sure when. I think he pit just a lap, on lap 4, so 8 laps ago, but now he's only 2.1 seconds behind Harry Noir, so he's closed in absolutely massively. But Barton will be following him, following in what was the race leader at one time. I think it's going to be Fuselum now, who decided not to come into the pit lane. He's going to to be looking to extend. Maybe a few drivers looking for the soft to or the medium to soft strategy. But look how far Miami is behind. He's almost 7 seconds behind the Racing Point and Larkin, who started P2 and was P2 before he decided to come into the pit lane.
Yeah, the undercut really worked, but Larkin's going to have to make another pit stop here. So the gap should probably be only about 13 seconds when he comes out for his stop. And 13 seconds in the amount of laps he's going to have, it's a tall task, but if anybody can do it, I feel like it's going to be Larkin. But Fuzz stayed out, JXW stayed out, and so did Jin. I'm really interested to see where Miami will come out relative to them, and knowing how well the undercut worked for Larkin. But how early he pitted just makes it that huge difference.
Yeah, most definitely. Just watching with a few battles just a little bit lower down the field, we saw RC getting past Storm, and we saw this amazing battle between Purple Squirrel and DJ Panda. They aren't fighting for points currently, but right now, DJ Panda trying to get to the outside of Turn 6. We saw an incident here at Tier 2, and that's a front wing loss for DJ Panda. Just the right end plate of his Alfa Romeo is going to be off and into the gravel trap. A little bit of contact with Purple Squirrel. I don't think it was exactly there going into the braking zone, but there was contact between those two. Fuselim as well as Jin into the pit lane as Harry Noir is in as well. So Larkin will be moving up 3 places here. He's almost right. He's right on the back end of Beck here. He was in front of him when he pit, but now Beck, who is yet to come into the pit lane on the hard tires, Larkin has made up a huge amount of time on the guys in front of him. He's within DRS range of Beck, who is yet to pit. So Larkin and Beck, unless Larkin is most definitely going to get past here because of his tire advantage, but Larkin is maybe put on a masterclass of a strategy. Barton and Fuselim coming out on the same piece of track. They're going to be side by side through turn 2, dropping down the hill towards turn 3. Let's see what Fuselim can do on the outside line. He has a little bit of a lockup on the not on the racing line, but Fuselim is going to stay in front of P5, who he's going to stay in P5 just in front of Barton. Barton on that undercut tried to make up a position, but Fuselim defending it absolutely perfectly. Will be staying up into P5. That's the only compliment Fuzz will ever get from me. But now Larkin onto the back of Beck, going into turn number 11. Let's see what he can do exiting through 12 and 13. I think he should be able to get this one done. Having a little bit of a slide though. Maybe those tires are starting to struggle in terms of wear. He's been on them for 7 laps. Maybe he's struggling with tire temperatures as well. I don't think he's having the greatest of times, but using the overtake. Going to be activating the DRS just about now. In fact, using his overtake as well as absolute amount of overtake that he has. Should be able to defend this one, so this can hold back Larkin even more. But JXW, let's see if he's going to be coming into the pit lane. So Larkin almost has a full pit stop on these guys, but Beck defending a possession as well. He's up on 60% ERS. He's used almost none as JXW comes in the pit lane. He's going to be the last of the guys that started on the mediums to be into the pit lane, but now Beck will be leading this race with Larkin just in behind.
Yeah, this Larkin and Beck battle, now it's for the race lead at the moment, but Miami is catching them. The gap was, I think, about 7 or 8 seconds when Miami came out of the pits, and now it's only down to 5. So if Miami can catch up before Larkin and Beck pit, this could really help his cause. The gap that he'll have on everybody else.
Ooh, yellow flag. Who is that? Beck. Is that Beck?
Yeah.
Did Larkin just punt Beck? I think that's what just happened there. Unless, I'm not exactly sure what happened there because I can't say I didn't see it with my own eyes, but there was contact there, or there's probably, or most definitely contact between those two. So Larkin getting past Beck, not exactly sure how, but Beck is now dropped into P2 on the track, and now he has who once was the race leader. I think he's going to be the net race. Wait, Miami's on mediums.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's stopping as well. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Okay, well anyways, Beck looks like the only one. Oh my gosh, short-term memory loss. We don't talk about it. Beck it looks like to be the only one out of the top 3 right now out on track on the one stop. But now at Miami, Beck doesn't have that multitude of ERS that he used to defend against Larkin, but Miami is in the position that time as well. Miami was a championship contender. Beck trying to sell the dummy. He goes to the outside, but then defends to the inside. A little bit of contact between the two drivers, but Miami is going to easily get that position into turn number 14 as Larkin decides to come into the pit lane. I wonder if he has front wing damage. We're going to ride on board with him because Beck is into the pit lane as well. Maybe looking for the medium tires here, but Barton and Fuzz. Barton has finally gotten past Fuzz. Looking to Larkin. Yeah, Larkin has front wing damage. They both, most definitely, the Racing Point and the Alpha Tower came together.
Yeah, that was That was an interesting move for Beck to defend for Miami. It was a really, really late move to the inside. Oh, but Beck's actually going to get ahead of Larkin. Oh, he might get around two here.
Ooh, yeah. We're going to have to watch on board with this one. Beck, obviously going to the end of the race. Maybe just picking up from front wing damage as well. But now Larkin, who can't make it to the end of the race on the soft compound tires, will have to go on the slower, harder compound of the hards. So he's not going to have the greatest of pace, but we know what he can do. He's already side by side with Beck going through turn 5. I wonder if we're going to have round 2 here. I don't think it's going to be contact. I think these two have learned their lesson, but Larkin literally just driving around the outside of him. Contact between those two once again. Beck showing what he can do in his racecraft, shoving Larkin off the track. I think he deserved that one. Larkin pushed him off at turn 6 just a lap ago. Beck shoving him off now, so it's a little bit of hard feelings between those two, but Beck showing his intentions in this race right now. But now it's Excel Miami who's leading the race by 13.3 seconds to the next driver behind, but Barton and Fuselum as well as JXW are all on one stops.
Yeah, I'm glad that there's different strategies being played here because it definitely makes it interesting, but I mean, not from Miami's perspective. He's classing everybody right now with 13 seconds ahead. But at least the battle for second's going to get interesting. We got Barton, Fuzz, and JXW all really close to each other, and Bag of Bones and Jinnit. So this, all right, so this battle's going to go all the way down to P6, and obviously Jinnit with penalties, so he'll have to make up the time if he wants to keep it. If he does overtake someone. But yeah, at least the battle for second could be interesting here.
Yeah, we did just see round number 3 between Larkin and Beck. Larkin setting purple final sector on his outlap, but Larkin derating. He has literally, well, he was just derating just below that 10% mark before going into the first corner braking, trying to get some of that ERS percentage back, but now he has to try and close down a lot of time on the drivers in front of him. We do have a phantom yellow flag, I do believe, but as you mentioned, the battle for second place is going to be absolutely raging on towards the end of this race. Let's see what Bagabones can do on the medium tires. He's on the softer compound, so in theory, he would be the faster driver, but I think he's going to be struggling just a little bit here. Looking on the steering wheel, his tire temps are absolutely through the roof. He's really been pushing in this train, trying to keep with these guys. All the rest of the guys in the train are going to be on hard tires. Those tires are not going to be overheating as much as the mediums might will for the Renault. Contact between him and JXW. Just a little bit deep on the brakes, but Jinnit might be getting caught in that one as well, but driving around the outside of the racing point through turn 12, but JXW still on the inside of turn 13. Let's see what he could do. It might have just been a little bit of contact between those two. JXW still on the inside line, but Jinnit is going to be not getting the DRS. JXW got the DRS. He's using his overtake. Jinnit using his overtake as well, trying to defend. The racing point is going to be up the inside, breaking into turn 14. He might just go a little bit deep. JXW trying to use the defensive line. He'll squeeze Jinnit out and get that position. He's back up to 4th place after contact with Bag of Bones. Bag of Bones might just have lost a little. Yeah, he lost the right end plate, so he's going to be struggling for pace with the medium tires as well as those possibly overheating tires. But now, Fuselum and Barton have started to break away. They're dropping to Miami, but they only have to make up, or they have to still stay in Miami once he decides to make that final pit stop. But Barton, Fuselum, looking on for a strong 1-2 right now.
Yeah, it was shaping up to be a good battle. The Bag of Bones, I think, just misjudging his braking zone and ran into the back of, I believe it was JXW, but Jin now, he's on the back of JXW. He's looking to make the move eventually. He's a bit too far back to make a move there. He's made about 2 moves into the S's there so far today. And I hope to see one more because they've been really good moves from Jinnit. And yeah, Fuzz and Barton, I think they're the closest people on track. Up 4/10, so we'll see if Fuzz can make a move down into the hairpin. He's got a lot of ERS, way more than Barton.
Yeah, you can already see on the screen he's using the overtake. He's going to be almost side by side before the DRS activation line. So he's going to be up into P2. So right now, Fuselum in a net P1. Let's see what type of clean air pace he has. There's a little bit of a lockup into turn 14 there. That overspeed not breaking into that corner. Just a little bit too much for the Ferrari driver, but yeah, snatching a little bit of a front right, but I don't think that's going to phase him too much. His tires seem to be in check, as well as Barton, because JXW right now only beginning to close in. He almost has no ERS. He's just around 15% braking for the first corner. It's not much of a braking zone. You aren't going to be getting that much, just getting around 10% going into turn 2 and dropping into turn 3. So let's see what the Racing Point can do. I think he might just be able to close up on the back of Barton, because Barton is going to be in that dirty air of the Ferrari in front of him. JXW is going to have relatively clean air, because the dirty air doesn't take effect unless you're just about only starts to take effect when you're around 0.7 of a second back, but it doesn't. But it really helps JXW when Barton starting to make mistakes on traction. As I mentioned, the dirty air, he was in it, and so that the traction that he got there out of turn 6 is not going to be the absolute greatest that he could have. But now looking towards DJ Panda in Storm, I think Storm may or may not have disconnected. But now it's DJ Panda trying to get past the Williams driver. I don't think we have any other battles out on track. But now the Alfa Romeo looking to the outside of the Williams. I wonder if he's going to be able to get this move done. Going on board with the Alfa Romeo, I think he's gotten that one done into the braking zone. That's great for him. Purple Squirrel getting lapped there. Ghosting is off, so he will actually have to move out of the way. Out on track, but now Jennett, who picks up a second time penalty going wide there out of turn 13. Not a surprise in Alt Maverick's words, but here we go. Onto the back straight, JXW, who's really close up through the heart of that middle sector and through the first half of that last sector's Barton, making so many mistakes right now on track, and those tires are really struggling.
Yeah, I think Fuzz just has the better pace. I mean, he's really starting to pull away ever since he got ahead of Barton. And I think JXW is thinking the same thing. He doesn't want to be behind Barton, and he might try to get past here and put up a good fight with Fuzz for P2, as they are the only guys without penalties so far. Jin, you got to be more disciplined, dude. You're in this fight, and you're not going to gain any positions out of it.
Yeah,
but he's got 6.8 seconds to Vagabond, so if the race ends now, he'll keep 5th, which isn't too bad. But I know he's looking for a podium at least.
Ooh, but he's not going to be getting that podium if he keeps making mistakes like that. Huge snap on the traction, that right foot not being disciplined enough in these difficult conditions with the tires. They're going to be struggling just a little bit, as you can see there, getting all over the curb there at turn 9 and on the exit curve. That's not what you want to be seeing from the McLaren driver. Larkin, though, is really closing up onto the back of Vagabonds as Purple Squirrel gets out of the way and almost on track right into the side of Larkin. That would not have been good for the Racing Point driver. He's already been into an incident so far in this race. I'm sure he would not have wanted to get into another one. But right now, Fuselim in the net race lead with Miami still having to make another pit stop. Let's see if he's in. No, he's not. He's going through the final corner right now. So Fuselim right now in that net race lead with Barton, JXW, and Jin all falling in relatively closely in behind. We'll make an exception. Oh, Vagabonds is off the track. I think that might have been contact between him and Larkin's virtual safety car. Yeah, I think there was definitely contact between the Racing Point and the Renault. Yeah, Larkin's front wing is off as well as Vagabonds.
Yeah, I mean, at least they're still going, so this VSC could save them and make a pit stop and not lose too much time. So very fortunate that happened, and yeah, Larkin's going to pull into the pits. Jennett's in the pits as well, and Rocco gets a drive-through. The things are popping off now.
Yeah, Jennett has decided to fit the medium tires. I'm not exactly sure why. Now, Larkin obviously going to be coming into the pit lane to fit the soft compound tires. Those are the only fresh tires that he has. Back picking up a drive-through penalty. That's not going to be good for him. He's in P5 right now with Vagabonds and Larkin being moved out of the way, as well as with Jennett pulling into the pit lane. So Beck picking up that speeding penalty. He could have had 5th place in this race, but now he has a drive-through. He's going to be dropping it down so many positions. He's going to be dropping down, I think, just past Larkin. Or just around Larkin, but now Larkin is behind Callie, who pitted on lap 1 and is on a 2-stop right now. Callie having a little bit of a snap there going through turn 3, so not the greatest for him. His tires are in dire condition as well, but right now Jin at 6.8 seconds behind Beck, but Beck 11.8 seconds off the back of the top 4, so that's not going to be great for him. Now out of the front runners, I think we're just waiting for Miami to pit and we can really get a clear read on this race.
Yeah, once Miami pits, and he's not going to do it this lap. I mean, he's going to come up behind the top 3 at least, but he's gonna be on those quicker tires, and it shouldn't be that hard. But if they battle like this when Miami's trying to get through, I don't think it's going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy down into the hairpin like it usually is. So hopefully these guys can just take it easy, but this battle for second place, it's not ending.
Yeah, most definitely. These guys are very, very close on track. Back into the pit lane to serve that drive-through penalty that he picked under the virtual safety car caused by Larkin and Backbones. So not the greatest situation for the Alpha Tower. He looked to be having quite the race. He's up in the top 5 and then picked up that drive-through penalty with the incidents around him. But right now, looking towards Miami. When is he going to pull into the pit lane? It might just be this lap. He has 70% ERS, trying to save it up. He's going to have the DRS off the back of DJ Panda. I think that's Rocco's just had gone into a little bit of a spin through turn 6. Found himself on a little bit of a tarmac patch just on the inside there of turn 6. Ooh, contact with his teammate. That's not going to be good. You never want to hit your teammate. But now Miami has the DRS, used overtake to try and get past him. So I'm not exactly sure why he did that. But saving that overtake, trying to use it for when he gets into the train to try and pass Fusel and Barton and JXW. Barton has dropped out of DRS though, so now JXW, this is your moment. Actually, never mind. He's not dropped out of the DRS. The DRS activation line is just a little bit further down the straight. And that I didn't quite calculate that one, but yeah, JXW on the inside, on the exit of turn 14, but he's not going to have to run. He's not going to have to drive out of the hairpin to get that position up. I think that's Rocco's just had another spin. Yeah, it is. His tires are absolutely cooked, but Miami opting for staying out once again. I'm not exactly sure why. Those soft tires can take it from can go all the way to the end from lap 20, so they can do 8 laps out on track, but they won't be their absolute best towards the end of the race. But right now, JXW really closing onto the back of Barton in front of him.
Yeah, I really thought Fuzz was going to start pulling away once he got ahead all those laps ago, but it's just not happened. And he's sort of backed into Barton once again. But JXW, he's keeping with them. And I don't know, I think Fuzz, he might have just hurt his tires a bit more than he wanted to. And now it seems like the gap's going to be extending a bit. There's Barton a bit of a slide there out of the double left-hander. But he's not dropped out of DRS just yet.
Oh, yeah.
Rocco's going to retire.
Yeah, Rocco just pulling into the pit lane to call it quits for this first and only preseason race. Miami still deciding not to come into the pit lane unless he's forgotten to make that pit stop. I'm not exactly sure why he's in the pit lane just yet. That is his second set of medium tires right now that he's on. So he has to change compounds by the rules and regulations. But back, picking up a time penalty after that drive-through. That's not going to be the greatest situation for him. Purple Squirrel has spun once again in that middle sector. That's the second time he spun in the same lap. But now, look. Oh, back is off.
We're going to get a safety car. Oh,
yeah.
only VSC.
VSC. That would have been perfect for Miami if he was close enough. But RC, who's now stuck behind Purple Squirrel. Oh, Purple Squirrel just spun. Oh, and RC just hit him. And that's front wing gone for RC. Yeah, that's not the greatest situation for RC. Purple Squirrel just spinning in his way. But right now, Miami is out in the lead of the race. This might, if the VSC stays out long enough, which I don't think it will, Miami could pull into the pit lane right now and fit those fresh soft tires. But now this actually might be helping the battle for second place, because Miami is not going to be pulling away anymore under green flag conditions. So if Fuzz, Barton, and JXW can stay on top of their delta, I think they'll be really good, and Miami will start or might just start losing positions to these guys, or not be able to get through the train once he pulls in the pit lane. Yeah, we do go green flag. We do go into green flag conditions as Miami is exiting turn 13. Fuselum out of turn 10. So let's see what Fuselum, Barton, and JXW all can do going toward the end of this race, as well as Larkin, as we mentioned, I didn't mention, but right just before the virtual safety car, he did make the move past Harry Noir. So let's go on board with Excel Miami. He's into the pit lane now. He's just behind Purple Squirrel, though. So I'll have to... Oh, we do have an overtake in the pit lane. That's not something you see every day. Purple Squirrel going a little bit deep. Miami trying to get into the pit lane as quick as possible, because he doesn't want to losing any time to the guys behind him right now. So Fuselum, Barton, JXW will surely be in front of the Mercedes driver.
Yeah, the gap was about 20 seconds just as before the safety car came in, and then it did come in. And then it dropped all the way down to 18 seconds. Yeah, Miami, he's going to come up behind here, so he's got some work to do.
Yeah, most definitely. Fuselem taking the race lead, just starting lap 24. He's going to be the first time he's going to be leading the race this time, but Storm kind of getting in the way of Barton and JXW. Fuselem has broken DRS because of the lapped car, so Barton has dropped out of that 1 second range. JXW just fighting to get past the Williams as well. It seems to be pretty quick in a straight line. Is that Williams is Storm's Williams, the AI. He doesn't have, or he has 100% ERS, but now look at Miami. He's very, very close to the back of these guys. 3.5 seconds. It's going to be an easy task to close up, but what can he do with 80% ERS and soft tires? It's going to be difficult to overtake, I think, just because of the DRS change. But right now, Fuselem, I wonder if he can break that DRS. That might just help his race towards the end, because Barton with JXW will fight, and Miami's going to be closing up eventually, and he's going to be fighting these guys as well.
Yeah, he just went through the DRS now, and I think he was 1,000ths clear. So Fuzz has broken the DRS, but JXW will have it on Barton, so that might help close them in to Fuzz. But Miami has made up about 2.5 seconds just on this outlap. So Miami's not giving up just yet. And he does he's gonna get through there on RC. However, he went really deep into the hairpin, trying to get past, but he's actually gained some time. So this 2 compound difference is really showing itself right now. Yeah, I think Miami will have the move done next lap.
Yeah, it should be it's going to be an easy task to close up to the drivers in front of him, but it's what type of task is going to be to try and make that overtake. But right now, Larkin picking up his first time penalty. He has 7.6 behind and 12.6 in front, so he's not going to be making up any positions with this one. But Jin has found himself in a great position as well. He has only has to create a 3-second gap to Larkin, and he already has that gap, or already has that achieved by 9 seconds. 9 seconds. So now onto the battle for the lead, battle for second place actually, because Fuselem still outside of DRS range from Barton. Actually, I think Barton has had an amazing exit out of turn 10, so he should be able to get the DRS range now. So this is actually going to hinder Miami, because now Barton, or Fuselem, is not going to have that gap to Barton. Barton is going to have the DRS. JXW is going to have the DRS on him. But now, how much ERS is Miami gonna have to use to try and beat JXW to this third spot on the podium? JXW using all the ERS that he can. He's below 5%, just around 5% right now, just dropping down to 3. Barton is on absolutely 0. JXW not going for the move. Miami super late on the brakes. Those tires are absolutely amazing in the braking phase. JXW almost pushed off the track, but has a big slide. But now Miami looking to the outside of Barton. He's not going to go going for that one. Barton using the better line of the final corner, but he doesn't have DRS on the Ferrari in front of him. Miami almost gifted those 2 positions. He was super late on the brakes. A great move there through 14 and onto the pit straight, but now he only has 1 car to dispose of, and that's going to be Fuselem. Fuselem is a tough customer, so let's see what type of defending he can put up against that Mercedes.
Yeah, those are some excellent moves from Miami, especially that airpin. That amazed me that he was going to send it in from that deep. Or, well, not that deep, but just that far behind. He sends the purple sector 1. So he is pushing, and he's right on the diffuser of Fuzz here. I think he's definitely going to wait for the long straight before he's going to make his move. But I just have to think Fuzz is going to try to defend with everything he's got to keep this win. Because none of them have penalties. These battles on track will mean these positions. And yeah, I think Miami's got this.
Yeah, I definitely should. He has 10 or 15% more ERS than the driver in front of him. Fuselem just now using his over to that defense. He turns it off. He knows there's no chance of fighting. That's Miami used only half of his ERS to get these moves done. He's going to be closing. He's going to go into the racing line for the braking zone. But this has actually really helped Fuselem break away from the rest of these guys, because now the gap is 1.3. From just about DRS range, just about 9/10, just a lap ago when Miami made the move. But now Miami 7/10 out in front. He's going to be leading this one, and most definitely will be winning this one. So the long wait in pit stop may or may not have paid off. But let's see what Fuselem can do through this first sector. I think he's going to drop out of DRS range, but I wonder if Miami is going to be pushing for that fastest lap. I think he should go for it. He's on the best tires on the grid right now, besides Purple Squirrels down in P13, but he's a lap down. and going to be finishing this race around the time that Miami does. So right now, Miami's leading the race. He's already pulled out of DRS range just in the first sector. So Fuselem 1.5 seconds back. All he has to do is right now is think about Barton in behind. It's 1.2 behind him, but now Barton also has to think about JXW.
Yeah, Miami is absolutely flying on those tires, and I think it's a sheer done victory. Even if he gets a penalty, I feel like he will pull out 30 seconds by the end of this race. He's only got to do 9/10 now. But Paul's only 1.2 ahead of Barton. I just don't think Barton's got it in him right now. He doesn't have the ERS. His tires are a lap older than Fuzz's. So I think he's really got to put in a good second sector if he's going to want any chance of just even sniffing at Fuzz down into the hairpin on the last lap. But JXW is pretty close, but he's still not going to go for it. Maybe.
Yeah, he's tried this move multitudes of times. He's not gone for the move into the hairpin, but tried to get the better exit on the Renault in front of him. Barton has almost no ERS, but JXW, a huge mistake out of the final corner as we go into the final lap with Excel Miami. He's leading by 2.3 seconds. He's pulled the two-stop off to perfection. He will most definitely be winning this one unless some other factor comes into this race. Maybe a mistake will lead lead him to losing this race, but I don't think he is going to be making that mistake. He only has to cruise to the finish line and finish this one off and take this the preseason race win. He's already pulled out almost a second on this lap alone. So right now, Barton 1.3 seconds back. As you mentioned, he doesn't have it in him. He has that one lap of older tires than Fuselem, so he shouldn't be able to close down. But right now, JXW has 2 lap fresher tires than Barton in front of him, but he just hasn't been able to get past. All race, Larkin is into the pit lane to fit the intermediate tires. Well, yeah, Larkin, this is quite the Excel strategy. We've seen it with Lando in qualifying in Tier 1, or in Tier 2 for Abu Dhabi. He's going to be fitting the intermediate tires. I wonder what type of lap time he can be doing on those inters. But right now, it's going to be Excel Miami, who's already gotten to the back straight. I couldn't even keep up with that. But right now, Barton, he didn't get the DRS. So let's see what JXW can do. Barton using literally all of his ERS. He's down to 0%. JXW only on 4 and using the DRS. This is going to be the lap. It's the last lap of the race. He's going to be going for the move. It's Excel Miami, just almost getting to the final corner. Barton trying to get the switchback, has a big slide out of the final corner. Excel Miami is going to be crossing the line just now to take the win. Fuselem through the final corner. Won't be picking up a penalty. It's going to be Fuselem across the line in second place, weaving. JXW is going to take that third place across the line, or on the final lap through turn 14 with just 2 laps left. That's an amazing move from JXW. Was able to get it done when it counted. Barton, after struggling with that third place on the podium all race long, will finish in 4th. Jinnit finishing the race 19.5 seconds off the top 4, will be finishing in 5th. Excel Cali is coming through turn 15 right now. Should most definitely finish in 6th place. But yeah, we are going to go on board with Excel Larkin because he is on the intermediate tires and has had a spin out of turn 13, getting into a few incidents in this one. Not the greatest race from the champion. That's why he's a reserve this season. Not, obviously, well, not to take shots at Larkin again, but yeah, not the greatest race for the Racing Point driver. But yeah, Excel Miami executed the two-stop to perfection, and then Fuselem and JXW as well as Barton, all great performances looking toward Season 5.
Yeah, this was a great race, and I'm glad I got to commentate over it. This was absolutely amazing. And, what a heartbreak for Barton, though. I mean, he ran a perfect race. He made his strategy work. He ran in the podium positions almost the entire race, and just to get nabbed for 3rd place by JXW on the last lap, I mean, it's got to be heartbreaking. But driver of the day is going to go to Jinnit. I don't agree with that at all. I think that is some BS in the game. I think Jin paid.
Yep, Jin most definitely paid for that driver of the day. It's like Max Verstappen fans. He has some fans somewhere. Not a lot of people see him though. So let's go to the results, as Excel Miami will be spraying the champagne alongside Fuzz and JXW. So yeah, Excel Miami taking the race win in the first and only preseason race from from first on the grid from pole position. Absolutely perfect for him. Fuselem taking 2nd place. JXW in 3rd, the final step of the podium. from P6. Barton gaining one position still off of his grid slot, so he will be in P4. Jennett from the back of the grid to P5 from P13. Once again, rigged. He had 9 seconds of penalties. He doesn't deserve it. Jokes, obviously. Please don't come to me, please don't come after me, Jeanette. Callie in P6 after damage on lap 1. A great recovery from him. Harry Nowak from 14th. A good drive from him as well. The two Ferraris looking pretty decent going into this next season. Bag of Bones with an incident with Larkin with just a few laps left to go in the race. He's looking for a top 5 finish. He'll be in P8. But Larkin P9 after 2 incidents and fastest lap. He'll be, as I mentioned, in P9 from 2nd on the grid. But DJ Panda will be picking up the final points position in P10, starting there and finishing there. And the rest of the grid that I can see, it was RC Storm and Purple Squirrel. They were the rest of the drivers to finish the race. So yeah, really exciting race for the EU tier, and I'm super excited to hopefully maybe get to commentate this one full time on Sundays.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm glad that there were different strategies being played out, and especially at the front. Usually the different strategies happen in the midfield. At least, some of the league races that I do. So I'm glad that they were at the front. We were able to see someone pit very late into the race and have to make some incredible overtakes just to regain his lead and actually win the race. So Miami doing an absolute astonishing job here today at the Chinese Grand Prix. But yeah, I mean, this was a great race.
Yeah, I have to absolutely agree with you on that one. It's China, not one of the greatest tracks in my opinion, but it put up an absolute stunner here on this Sunday evening. So yeah, can't be mad about that one. It was a great opportunity to decide to commentate just 13 minutes before the race. So yeah, great decision on my part. Thank you for joining me in this one, Alt Maverick. But that's been it, and that's all, folks.